G'day, Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments with someone who is no stranger to the winners' podium in the non-boater division, Jesse Rotin. You've won here at St Helens in the Minn Kota round. Was it a win you were expecting? Did you have such an awesome pre-fish you think, I'm going to win this thing, or did it just sneak up on you like a pack of bream?
It snuck up on me. I was actually, as you heard, I was throwing a fly around. And,
in the pre-fish, yeah, what was going around with that? Just making sure you didn't sting him too early?
Well, I couldn't catch him on lure, so I thought I'd try the fly, and in the process nearly hooked Mario on the head, and I thought I better give this up. I actually didn't catch as many fish as I usually do with Mario down here, but we shared some information, and yeah, it really helped.
Tell us about your 2 days on the water. What were your two bag weights, approximately?
I think it was 2.6 on the first day and then 3 kilos today, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that average of a kilo of fish, that's what you come to Tasmania for, isn't it? Even though this is a flats fishery, there are big fish out there.
Definitely, yeah. And this place is actually a little bit harder for me usually. I've had a couple of top tens, but it's usually harder for me to break down. But I learn a lot each time I come.
Take us through your tactics for the 2 days. Who were your two boaters and what sort of situations were you fishing?
As you can see, there's a lot of flats out there, but there's some other bits of structure as well, but most of the time just flats fishing. And I really enjoy it because I can throw lighter lures or shallower diving lures. And on the first day I had Tony Kerwin. We pretty much fished straight out here on the flats. I caught 2 or 3 fish really quickly, and then we had maybe 4 hours with no fish, and then in the last hour we power poled down on a little reef or a little sandbar, and I was lucky enough that I got a couple of bigger fish in the end. Today I had Mark Hayes, and we pretty much went to the same spot, except it didn't look the same. It was that low that we could hardly even get into half of what we did yesterday. I got a fish within 10 minutes, and same thing again, I went hours and hours without a fish, and he actually made a really good decision. He said, I'll take you to where I caught some bigger fish yesterday. We went there. I wasn't confident because it seemed like no one was catching fish at that stage, but he just told me to put my head down and keep at it, and I got a kilo fish within 10 minutes, and I thought, oh, I'm grateful for that. I'll be happy if I don't even catch another one. He said, what do you mean you'll be happy if you don't catch another one? I said, I'm right with that. He said, no, I'll stick at it. And slowly, every hour I caught a fish, and they were just bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were not giants, but they were all nice, solid Tassie fish.
That's right. Well, nearly a 900 and something gram average, mate. Tell us the baits you were throwing. You've got a variety of Daiwa baits in there. You're a Daiwa guy. Tell us the lures from the Daiwa staple. It looked like they did well. Like that Saz there, it looks like a dog's chewed it.
I think it's actually filling full of water at the moment. It's got a crack in it, but that was down the gob of 3 fish today, and it caught majority of the fish over the 2 days.
Tell us exactly what the lure is.
It's an in-feet Sazanami in Adele AU.
And Adele's that new foil hologram colour they got, isn't it?
It looks really good. Yeah, I really like it. It gives that sort of bit of flash, but not too much.
What did you mix it up with? They've got a few plastics here.
Yeah, so I was throwing around the 295 flick, those guys there, and I just altered with the size of the jig head and sort of jig head setup. That colour did quite well. That's the olive oil. When it was really calm or really shallow, I went to the hidden weight, and then if not, a 1/20th.
So it's all very finesse stuff, mate. There's no heavy jig heads there. It's all just to waft down to the bottom.
Yeah, the weed in here actually drives me insane. As soon as I get stuck to it, I bring it in, weed whack it off, and that's probably where some of the damage to the lure is too. But as light as it can be, and I've heard from past anglers' experiences that sometimes quieter lures, especially when it's calm, can really make a difference, and that's why I went with that slower, quieter presentation.
Show us the outfits that you throw these on, because if people want to get started in the plastics or that hard body fishing, what are they going to buy?
Well, I've got 2 outfits here. One's pretty much what I would throw the in-feet Sazanami on. So that's the in-feet 722 LRS. It's actually a little bit stiffer than the traditional blue range of in-feets, but I liked it, especially for twitching it over the weed and dragging some fish out of there. And I've got an in-feet 2000 with some 8-pound J-braid Grand and a 4-pound X-Link leader.
And it's a pretty long leader because I see it on your reel there.
Because I get stuck in the weed, I always like to check the leader. There's like tiny little barnacles that seem to just rasp up the end of the line. So I cut a little bit off if I've caught a fish, just to make sure it's...
So you start with a long one.
Yeah, yeah. And I quite often, have some dramas through the day, and that saves me from having to retire.
What's your plastics rod here?
This is the Infeet EX, the 712 LFS, and I've got a Caldia 2000 with 10-pound J-braid Expedition and 3-pound J...
X-Link?
No. Finesse.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
Finesse fluorocarbon.
You use it too, yeah.
Yep. There you go.
And,
so that weighs virtually nothing and nearly blow out of the boat when you're not using it.
I actually just received these 2 rods just before I came to Tasmania, and I actually thought this one was really light in my hands, and actually pulling some fish out today, it had plenty of power, but enough to sort of get the fish out, which was good. So, yeah.
Well, mate, that's what would you say? I think it's your 3rd win from the back of the boat, or your 4th?
I think it might be the 3rd, yeah.
I can't even count.
I'm just grateful to be down here and, fishing with a good bunch of guys.
Yep. Anyone else you want to thank, mate? Daiwa will look after you, of course, but and Mario's like the godfather, isn't he?
Definitely. Yeah, he makes this trip possible. And, also Mark Hayes, or Hazy. You guys for running the show. Maui Jim, Minn Kota, and Daiwa, and yourselves, you and Nicole.
You're good at this, mate. You've done this before.
Yeah, I think I'll try the fly in the Derwent. Might bring me some luck.
Well, if you're going to throw in the pre-fish, mate, it might have the same result. Jesse Rotin, J-Row, J-Dog, call him what you will. He is a non-boated champion.